Good morning. Today is Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. Present with us is the road department with our supervisor, Bear Taylor. And Bear, if you lead us off again, please, on what's going on.
Yeah, good morning. It's been, I hate to say it, but rather quietish.
Ooh, don't say that.
Yep, I said rather not. It's been nice.
Uneventful.
Yeah, I won't say that either. It's been tolerable. Nothing really new to report as far as any new issues that we haven't been aware of. We've had a couple people reach out about ongoing issues that we're still in the process of addressing, waiting on some supply orders for some bridge stuff, some patch for potholes, but everything's going okay. Giving the shop a chance to get a little caught up on some snow plows and other trucks, so that's a nice thing. But the one downside of this time of year is it's a little rough for getting anything really productive done. Weather changes, ground still frozen areas, still got snow in other areas. So a lot of tree trim and delineators, sign maintenance, kind of what we're focusing on right now. A lot of shop cleanup, some prep, the equipment prep, get some stuff ready for the season. Pretty much what all three sections have been working on for the last week. We did get up on the whitetail and winning a bunch of that snow off, especially up around the steep hill area, because it was all running right down the middle of the road. So that's bearing off pretty good. The school's going up to Elkhorn for their annual snowshoeing / probably going to just be hiking trip tomorrow. Went up and checked that. Elkhorn's bared off all the way up into town. So still a lot of snow off of the road, just nothing on the road.
Yeah, I talked to Tom Smith the other day.
Yeah,
He mentioned all of that.
yeah, it's different out there right now, but we try to get off the road at all and there's snow. But yeah, things are going good. Just keeping the guys busy. We got a few projects, irons in the fire. Been talking with, mentioned before, and talking with the city of Boulder. They're wanting to do the millings on Thompson Street out here by the Beargrass retirement home or whatever it is. We maybe a project we look at doing next week, just since we have a little bit of downtime, and if we don't get to it before we start grading, I told them we probably won't get to it at all this year, and they want to get those millings on the ground before they disappear into somebody else's trucks. So they did give us quite a bit of that pile. That was kind of a trade deal we worked out for using some of that millings. So be a good experience for some of our younger operators to be able to go lay down a road that isn't really going to bother us if it's not perfect.
What are they gonna put in it to bind it?
No, we don't need to put anything down with the millings to bind it. And
Stick back together?
yeah, I mean, you usually try to chip seal a milled road within a year or so after putting it down, just to help that surface. But these millings, I wish we could have got the whole dang pile, because they're some of the best millings I've ever worked with. They ground up real small and tight, and just sitting in the pile, they've gotten so hard you have to use an excavator to break them up and load them, because the loaders won't dig into the pile. So I wish we could have got the whole pile from the state, but oh well. So yeah, for the road that they're going on, the minimal traffic, if they decide to chip seal in the year or two, that's on the city, but they're just Dennis's, they're not qualified to put them down themselves, and they don't have the equipment to do it right. So we'll work on meeting with him hopefully later today to finalize a plan for it. But with me and Dylan both being gone to Mackers next week, we figured that'd be a good project for these guys to stay out of trouble. I mentioned we do have a new hire coming in. We hired a gentleman, his name's Dale Meyer, lives in outside of Clancy on Warm Springs. He's been working for City of Helena Road for about a year. Came over there from Thompson Falls. I put it April 1st, but since I printed these out, I got a phone call or an email saying he won't be able to start until the 7th of April. So we got a couple weeks, but younger kid that really got that kind of go-getter attitude, lots of experience on most everything we do. Drives truck, CDL, reminds me of a younger Dylan, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but
We'll see if it gets to be older, Bill.
Yeah. So Dylan's excited about having him up there. Interviewed really well, tested really well on all the equipment, so that'll be a good.
Seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good.
Yeah, he interviewed real well. So.
Makes a huge difference when you got good help on your crew.
Yeah, Dylan was out talking to him quite a bit during the skills test and afterwards, and they jived really well together, good personalities, so that'll help with, you know, complete contrast of some of the other issues we've had in that area, so. It'll be real good. He's got some good mechanical experience as well, so he can help with services and minor repairs. He's not had a lot of experience on a grader, but he's ran pretty much everything else and he can pick it up pretty quick. I'm pretty confident that with some good training, he'll be grading roads on his own before the end of the summer. So,
Good.
he knows what he's supposed to do. He's just got to learn how to make the machine do it. And once you've learned machines, it's just getting used to new controls. So, let's see, with that, I've been working, I don't know if you guys are aware, but me and Jesse and Dan from State Fund, as well as Kelly, have been kind of working on some new hire onboarding processes and stuff. So I've kind of taken on developing our checklist and template for that over the last week to help, since we're bringing on a new hire. So we've got the second draft, I think, is kind of done, and we'll kind of keep going from there and have it done before he starts. And then from there, we can kind of modify it and pull the road specific stuff out and make it a more general document that all the departments should be able to utilize to help make sure we're maintaining that safety culture that we've developed over the last few years. Then we are meeting with Lewis and Clark later this week. Me and Kyle are gonna go up and look at that used plow again. We were supposed to go last week, but Kyle was out sick. Then we're gonna talk about steps towards moving forward on that purchase, deferring the payment to next budget year, working out a final price and some other things with that, but I think it'll be a good upgrade for, not really an upgrade, but a good benefit for us, because it matches a couple of our other trucks. We'll have, if nothing else, it's got some parts on it we can use on these trucks that are getting to be obsolete. Me and Kyle went, so they sent us over all the specs on the truck, and we went through that, and we figured at bare minimum there was $25,000 to $30,000 worth of parts that we would need. And so if we can get a few years of plowing out of it and then have a parts truck, or vice versa, one of our other ones goes down, we use that truck. Just in the current state of buying plows, we'll be money ahead.
So would you be able to use this as a backup for right now?
We'd probably use it as a primary. I mean, it's a good truck. The plow needs a little bit of work. The plow itself needs a little bit of work. The sander box has got a little bit of rust in it. That's nothing we can't handle fixing relatively easy. But the truck itself is low miles, low hours. It's a big stout truck, like our other big one we have, a 16,000 pound axles, and yeah, so it'll be a good truck for quite a while. I don't foresee it going down in the near future, but we're just playing that if it does, or if another one went, how do we justify the cost of it? And
Any idea where you're thinking about putting it?
not yet. Yeah. But like I said, it's the bigger truck like we use for Elk Park for pushing big heavy snow, so it would be a good mountain truck. Yeah, I'm not sure where yet, because right now we've got, 3 trucks for 2 guys in Whitehall, 4 or 5 trucks up north, and then just the 2 here in Boulder. So I've been trying to talk Ryan into getting into a bigger plow, but he seems to like the plow he's in. We'll see how it pans out when we get to that point. But yeah, and then next week we got Mackers, so me and Dylan will both be there for the week. Craig's coming up for the whole week, I believe.
I'll either come back Wednesday or Thursday morning. one of the
Sure.
two.
Yeah, and then Easton, I did mention he's been dealing with some personal health stuff. If he's filling up to it, he's gonna come up to the banquet Wednesday night to get his roadmaster certificate and vest, and then Shaylee's getting her road scholar, so she's gonna come up to the banquet and get her certificate. So I think it shows a lot to our guys. We've, like I said, when I came on, Rory was the only guy that was a road scholar, and now we'll have 3 road masters and 4 road scholars, and then 2 guys will be getting road scholar next year, and we'll probably have 2 or 3 more getting road master.
When do we start sending road department people to Oxford?
No, but I am gonna start framing and hanging my certificates on the wall like a certain attorney, just so when people look in, they think I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, whenever I talk to the citizens in the county, we've hired the only,
Yeah, the 9 guys that don't know what they're doing.
yeah, the only people in the county we hired that don't know how to grade a road.
Yep, that's us.
Are you gonna hit Wayne, with dust pods, hit him up there when you see him?
Yeah,
See
I'll
what you
be
can squeeze out of him?
talking to him quite a bit. He's gonna participate on one of our roundtable boards as well, but I'll be cornering him in a back room or an alley or something to see what we can get done.
I talked to him at Mako for a second, and he immediately diverted me to this other product that might work better.
Yeah, that's kind of traditionally what his conversations are is, well, we got this that'll help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I get that, but I think part of the problem was the way it was done, which was your operator, not mine.
Right.
So that'll definitely be a conversation we have. Again, there's some other companies are gonna be there with other products that I'm really interested in. We'll see what they look like. And
You think we're gonna be
see what
able
happens.
to do something with that road without re-grinding it?
Yeah, I mean, we can absolutely, so go get it broke up and loosened up and then take our Widrow or rock rake up there and try and pull as many chunks out as we can. Which will help tremendously, and then just get it laid back out and smash it again and see how she holds up. I'm pretty sure with that, we'll have a little bit more of that 1/2 inch slime and some dust on top, but talking to a lot of other counties, they say that's kind of what they're seeing on all their roads they're doing is you get that top 1/4 inch that just kind of, it gets wet, it gets a little gummy, and
Then it turns to dust.
you get a little bit of dust, but they said overall, they're very happy with the product and the way the roads are holding up.
Hmm.
Yeah, I go back to, if this would have been a gravel road we did this process on, they'd been singing our praises.
Yeah.
It was the fact that we went
Oh, yeah,
from
we
chip
started.
seal
Yep.
to gravel, and we didn't go through the right process, which was on me, that it would have been a little bit better outcome.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely disappointed in the product. I'm just disappointed in the process. And I think it could have been done better.
Right. Yeah, the grinding should have been better.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was their machine or if it's just that type of machine. That's the way it was going to be. We don't know. It's hard to
Yeah.
say. But
The asphalt part of it looks awesome, from.
well, it would have looked that way if we used dust pods or not.
Yeah, that's true. It would have stuck back together.
Yeah. We could have just brought a mill in and ground that portion up and redid it, and it would have looked the way it is now.
Gotcha.
That's kind of all I got right now. There's always a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of little projects coming up.
City Builder get their speed thing up.
He had it out by the shop last night, he said, but I don't know if they actually had it functioning. I meant to put that on here. I'm pretty sure I gotta go through and look at the budget again and see how we're sitting. I think we want to get at least one, possibly look at 2, if not, get another one next budget year, or maybe 2. I think they'll be invaluable tools. The question that we would need to have one to figure out is that annual service that anywhere from $300 to $500 a year per sign, depending on the length of your contract and everything, is, do we need the Wi-Fi or can we get by with the Bluetooth, which is free?
Yeah.
I think we only got a couple signs that we're trying to gather data on. And, knowing we got a meeting on a Tuesday, it's not that hard to run out there on a Monday if we have a specific issue we're discussing and grab that data real quick. And especially if I can have Dylan do it and send it to me or whatever, So I don't see that we would need to do the long-term contract for their cellular service. But we may get it and realize it's just the best thing ever and decide it's worth justifying as well, so. But you get a year of that service included with the purchase of the sign.
So you get a chance to try it before we.
Yeah, as far as the cloud service, you get a year free trial when you purchase the sign. So we can say, after that, do we want to continue and pay the 500 or 300? It depends on the length of the contract.
Cause
for your
without
service.
that, and maybe not with one sign would be a big deal, but without that, you're driving out there to check it, right? You
Yeah.
gotta be parked next to it with Bluetooth,
Right, and
unless you're already there.
that's the thing is we're out, out and about a lot. And if we know we have it a meeting that we're talking about, hey, we've had speeding on this road, we've had it out here for a couple weeks, we're gonna bring it back up. It's not that hard to run out there a day or two before and grab the data. Especially if, like I said, if Dylan can run and grab it up north, or I can set the guys up down south to go grab it. I don't think it'll be a major inconvenience. It's always gonna be an inconvenience. It'd be great to be able to just sit here and say, hey, well, here's our data on all three of these or four, however we end up with signs, but
What's it worth, right?
yeah, was that just a comfort and a luxury, or is it a necessity?
Is it a possibility we can borrow boulders for a day or something for that road up off of Lone Gulch to get a count before?
I believe we could. I bet you he'd let me borrow it for a week.
I'm assuming his does a traffic count as well.
Yeah, they've got they said there was the two options I was looking at. One has a fully customizable display. And then the other one just shows the speed with a single line message on the bottom. The single line message one was quite a bit, not quite a bit, but at least $500 to $800 cheaper per sign. For me, it was closer to 1,000. I don't think we need a full smiley face digital board up there telling people they're doing okay or not. But yeah, they'll do the traffic counts. They all do the same features other than the display. So like I said, I've got to get with him on that Thompson Street project this afternoon anyway, so I'll see if we can steal it for a few days.
Yeah, I'd like to get a kind of an idea what the traffic in and out of that little subdivision is before we rip up their bridge
Yeah,
or their culvert.
yeah.
Have you had a chance to talk to Steve about that or?
I had reached out the one time, he was in the middle of something, so I got to reach back out with him and drive up there and take a look. Part of me is wondering if that's not still a public road all the way through, but looking at a couple things, but it's because there's some maps that still show it that way.
Oh, it's a public road, not a county road or?
Well, so it's Liverpool Road is the name of the road that comes through there,
Through Steve's or?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
which I don't believe was a county road
Oh, okay.
at all, but
Maybe.
there's some that show it might be a public access. So not that I want to cause hate and discontent with Steve, he's always been great with us, but
Right,
it may be us letting him know we need to do this instead of
right,
asking.
instead of asking,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
But
Thing I would ask here is that in Montana City and Boulder on the sign maintenance and the delineators, did that have anything to do with neglect or theft? That you guys are having to do that?
yeah, I mean, it's an ongoing, it's normal, not so much. I wouldn't say very many of them this time were because of theft. The winds and everything, we lose a lot of signs that way. Some of them were just replacing old signs that are faded and worn out. I wouldn't have an accurate count as to how many we might have replaced this time because of theft. I don't think many of them were. They're the ones that get stolen or damaged are usually frequent flyers. Like it says something that people think is neat, so they like to have it on their wall, or it's a family name or something along those lines. Or it's in a normal spot where somebody doesn't like the sign there and they decide they're gonna just keep taking it down. Yeah, that's an ongoing issue that's never gonna be something to resolve because we can't really. We try putting trail cams out and you get 1,000 pictures a day of every car that drives by, and or you don't get the right info. You can't get a license plate of who's doing it or something. It just isn't feasible. So, yeah.
The other thing I'd ask is up there in Warm Springs Creek, where that complaint had stated that possibly the county was involved in backing into a mailbox. Did that
Oh, that was on Old Alhambra.
rolled out?
Yeah, so I reached out to him and let him know, like the highway patrol, the sheriff's deputies, everybody I talked to, they said they had never told the guy it was a county plow. That was something he came up with, and then they said that he was saying it was a state plow, not a county plow. But there was no evidence whatsoever. There wasn't even a plow truck. The only thing they were going off of was the distance from where the mailbox and the steps were to where the tire tracks had ended was more than just like a pickup or a car. It could have been a moving truck, a box truck, a tow truck, a plow truck, could have been a private contractor. There's just no way of knowing. But I'm very confident it wasn't one of ours, because if they were turning around, they would have, our trucks are big enough, we would have had to pull into the driveway across the street from the gentleman's house. And there was no tracks whatsoever in that driveway. We would have had to gone quite a ways. And the only tracks that I saw, nothing matched any kind of our like size for plows. And So Wheeler reached out and I haven't heard back from him, but he also hasn't pushed the issues. So.
Okay. Thanks. Gentlemen, anything else?
Barry and I have been talking a little bit about the flooring out at the shop. Because we have that ARPA money that we took out of. The building out here because we have to spend it by the end of the year or we lose it. So we're trying to figure out projects for that. And I've just so you guys know, we've been just kind of discussing the options out there, not as we're gonna do this right now, but we're gonna see what our funding looks like, cause Pat's been spending it a little bit on radon mitigation and all that, so.
The
Just-
windows, are we getting the windows done?
He's getting
Okay,
bids for the
about-
windows, yep, that's gonna cost us about 50 grand. I can't remember what the radon costs, but
What's piece?
that we'll have, yeah, if we don't figure out a different way to spend that money, it's upwards of $200,000, then we'll probably be looking for projects like that carpet out there. And I don't know if you guys been out there lately, but it's pretty tough.
It's the original carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we was thinking about just tearing the carpet out in the high traffic areas and doing something to the concrete just so it's a solid surface. And then in the offices, probably do a carpet square of some sort, but. That's just a conversation we're starting with the folks out there, including Mike and Jill that have offices out there, so just so you guys are in the know.
AstroTurf.
So
So that's a conversation I've had with Mike and Jill for about 2 years now about upgrading the flooring out there, because it just it's embarrassing to have the public come in and look at it. And we want to do like the an enamel or epoxy coating in the break room and where the shop guys are walking in and out all the time, and because the food gets spilled on there at lunch or during safety meetings, and it just gets bad and greasy. And then just do a newer carpet in the front office section to help. Then we did enamel in the hall walkway there. It gets really cold in that section of office, and that wouldn't help at all. But if we don't get the grant funds to do it, we've been talking about it for a couple of years. I think it's something we'll move forward with anyways. But we'll wait until we hear on the grant before we do step forward.
Perfect.
Can't use that for adding on to shops, can I?
Adding on to shops? No. I don't think so.
Or building more.
Maintenance.
Yeah, it can't be for.
Either for roads or bridges or
in-
certain things.
infrastructure
Well,
type
if
stuff.
my shop wall was failing and we had to replace it, can we move the wall out?
You gotta pass that by Elon.
You just gotta get it. Just gotta make it justifiable.
So when you think about it, when you get one of those signs, consider putting one on McClellan Creek for a little while.
Just all the street signs, oh, trust me. I can put one on every road we have.
It's just,
Trust that one. I mean, Craig knows, I call him all the time about getting deputies up there. I talked to James Everett, and they know, the deputies are fully aware.
oh yeah, I have absolutely no ill towards the sheriffs because they got,
Yeah,
you know, sitting out and doing traffic they got other things to do.
well, and it even like us pulling out of there in the wintertime with plows, it gets pretty sketchy some days. Cause you go to pull out, you look one way, you look back,
Yeah,
and there's somebody.
And the
coming.
next thing you know, there's somebody on your bumper and it's like, where did you
Yeah.
come from?
Yeah, and that's where I bet 95% of the slide offs and incidents in the winter on McClellan
Yep.
Creek come from people coming down that hill too.
Yep.
I just drove up McClellan Creek and it's looking awful lot like Corbin Road now.
Oh, yeah, that one's been bad for a while. It's all the construction, all the heavy trucks on a chip sealed road.
There's no RMD connected to that, is there, to McClellan?
Just,
Oh, South Mountain.
yeah, South Mountain's the only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one we're gonna have to deal with next after we get Corbin figured out.
Yeah, that's one that. Again, the only way to really fix it right is to grind it up and redo it,
You talk about the lower part or the upper part?
the asphalt
Sure.
portion.
Yeah, is it asphalt or is it chip
Well,
seal?
chip seal.
Yeah, I was
we
gonna
call
say,
it.
that's what chip
I
seal.
don't know, yeah, other than the edges are pretty
It's-
rough.
There's a lot of potholes, there's a lot of alligator cracks, there's a lot of rutting in the tire tracks. There's some dips, I wouldn't rate that road very high if I was going out and doing a conditional inspection.
Yeah, I guess I drive it every day and like,
You're used to it.
it's okay to me, but.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
it's because I
not,
drive the speed limit too, so it does.
it's not bad, but it could be, it is definitely getting to be one of our. That one in the lower portion of homeschool just getting pretty bad as well.
Looks like you're gonna have some bad breakup this spring.
Oh, trust me. You wanna go ride on a roller coaster, just go drive up to Elkhorn. All the frost heaves that are on that road, it's bad.
I heard that.
Perry
You heard
Castle,
of it?
yeah, Perry Castle's blowing apart real bad right now.
They know what it is, though. They're not complaining, they're just
Well,
saying.
they know, yeah, the people that live up there, they know that that happens every spring. It's the new people or the people that don't know the area, they don't understand. That happens around here. We get frost heaves and the road it'll rise a couple feet. In certain areas.
He did say that there's the traffic up there, and he said, I just absolutely don't know where they're all going, but he said, we've seen just a plethora of traffic
Yeah.
continuously.
Crazy.
Well, I remember not that long ago, going up there in the mornings, you wouldn't see another vehicle. In the day, maybe one or two here and there, but every morning I've gone up there this winter, I've ran into traffic. And that's early mornings. Daytime going up there, you'll see multiple vehicles. There's a lot of cross-country skiers going up there during the day that are parking up by the cemetery road and going out. I think you're seeing a lot more cat hunters up there early in the mornings. But yeah, I don't know where they're all going or what they're doing.
What kind of hunters?
Cat, mountain
Mountain
lion.
lion.
It's definitely gotten busier.
Good. Thank you, Bear. You guys are doing a great job.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Keep them lined out. You gotta stay on.
One other topic I did put on here, I wanted to kind of mention, so iWork is that computer program we utilize for our work orders and fleet and all that stuff. I'm kind of talking to a couple other department heads asking what they've been using, and they say paper and baskets. And I just want to get into the early conversations of maybe looking at going into something countywide that would work for all departments, that would be integrated. So stuff that I do that corresponds to, say, Ladena or another department, it just all works better together and we all have everything together in one source. They've got a lot of enterprise packages and public works packages that do everything from budgeting and like your full budget, everything that Black River Mountain does, and payroll and HR and permitting and every step of the process that we do individually as a county. Might be something if we got the whole county, it would be more affordable for everybody to get involved. Like Megan says, she doesn't use anything because she can't justify the cost. And I was gonna use it for permitting, but it was like $1,500 a year for that add-on, but I don't do enough permits to cover that. But if we were doing it for sanitation and solid waste and road and everybody, that's a lot easier pill to swallow. But just throwing it out there as an early conversation to maybe we could look at some ways to help unify or develop some continuity throughout all the departments.
Good.
And I'm looking at other programs too, not just iWork. There's a lot of governmental software companies out there. We haven't been very happy with iWork to the point we haven't been using it as much, but they've made a lot of upgrades and changes that I'm in conversation with them about implementing into ours to update it and see if it's going to be better than what it was. There are other programs we're looking at as well. All right, get out of your hair.
Hey, thanks, Barry.
Yeah, and I'll let you know this afternoon about the yard down there.
Oh, sounds good. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.